All right. Happy Monday, guys. This is
Hello.
Jessica Crate tuning in. We've got Dr. Arthur Lepsha, his beautiful wife, Kelly, and my Canadian soul sister here, Jill Warner. So we are all in California tonight, which is pretty cool. We're in a couple different parts of California, but I'm excited because we've got an incredible lineup. Tonight we're talking about prevention. All of you know I'm a prevention activist. And so the panelists we have on tonight, we're going to be talking about Nrf2 and you as it relates to every individual who basically breathes oxygen. But tonight we're going to be really diving into the nit and gritty of this. And each one of the individuals that are going to be talking tonight have a background in physical therapy. So, coming from a science background, also just talking about lifestyle, their hobbies, their lives, what they're excited about, and then also what attracted them to this incredible product that we now know as Nrf2 technology, as well as the company, which is the leading company in Nutrigenomics. So, one of our panelists, the woman sitting right next to me, Jill Warner, she has been a physical therapist for 18 years. She specialized in neurological diseases such as stroke, brain injury, Parkinson's, and brain tumors. She's also licensed in Canada and the US, and she's worked in both countries. She's currently based in California. So she was working at the Cedars Sinai Hospital in Los Angeles on the rehabilitation unit for until 5 years ago. So just recently, and then she started her own private practice home care business. So she's played sports her whole life. She's competitive in soccer, which is one of my favorite sports, and rowing, which is not easy. And then, when she was younger, she did those sports competitively, and now she runs like a rock star and does HIIT training workouts and stays super healthy. She gets to live by the beach. So I'm super excited to have her on board. It's been an honor to spend a few days with you here in California. And then the other two on the other side of the screen over there, Dr. Arthur and his beautiful wife, Kelly. We had the privilege of hanging out this week, and we wanted to make sure that this information was available to all of you guys because it is so profound. And just knowing what we know and also what we've come across, we now have the beautiful gift of sharing that with each and every person. So Kelly not only has a double master's, one of her masters is in physical therapy, the other is in business. So she knows the inside out when it comes to business as well as health and wellness. And then Dr. Arthur, he is a doctor of physical therapy, originally from Connecticut, has lived all over the world. And together they have 4 beautiful kids, but they also own a practice, a private practice that specializes in stroke and brain injury. So that's no big deal. They have, it is a big deal, no big deal, no small deal, but they have people that fly around the world to them to get treated and have their specialty. So I'm really honored that all 3 of you are on tonight. It's been a blessing getting to know each and every one of you. So I'd like to kick it over to Kelly to kind of introduce, yourself, what your background is. You can expand on it a little bit more, and really what you found and why it's so profound.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Jessica. It's a pleasure to share all afternoon. I've been talking to so many people. I've literally been so pumped up about all of this stuff. So yes, as Jessica said, I have my master's in physical therapy, and I went to the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota to get that degree. And I learned so much, and I studied so hard to become a physical therapist. I really was fortunate, and actually Arthur as well, to find our mentor early on and now become a true leader in the industry in the recovery of stroke and brain injury survivors. We love what we do, but we're treating and helping one patient at a time. And the
Right.
two of us can literally, just like Jill, only help a small group of people. And so just a few years ago, this was brought to us. And, I'll let Arthur kind of tell his kicking and screaming story. But I really wanted to know more about this information because just like you, Jessica, and Jill, obviously health is very important to me and fitness. And I was training for a couple triathlons, and one of the women I was training with, she today is 55 years old and ranked number one in the world in her age group for full distance triathlon. So amazing mentor for me to train with her.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really interesting. 3 years ago, she was taking this product that I didn't know about at the time, Protandim. She went off of it, and then she said, oh my gosh, Kelly, I'm back on it and I will never go off of it. I said, why? What do you mean? She goes, well, I found that when I went off of it, my performance fell off, my recovery was taking longer, and my congenital hypertension had returned. And since I've been back on it, my performance and my recovery time couldn't be better, and my congenital hypertension is completely gone. I'm like, wow, as an athlete, that got my attention. And then I thought, wow, well, obviously if it's helping her in that realm, I wonder what this could do for others. So I truly asked our friend Michael to share this with us. And since then, 3 years later, it has blown my mind. If any of you have not seen the ABC investigative report, you definitely have to check that out. That will give you an introduction. But now why I become so passionate about this business and this industry is because all of us, no matter what we're doing, the air we breathe, the food we eat, our cell phones attached to us constantly, right? The gasoline we're pumping in our cars, we're all exposed and bombarded. Our systems are bombarded with oxidative stress. It's just unavoidable, and more so today than ever before in history. And there's never been a very successful treatment, I should say, or prevention overall until now. And what we have learned about this Nrf2 technology, and again, as the first person speaking here, for those of you on the line that are new to just kind of popping in on this webinar, you might go, what is she talking about? Well, I'm talking about the product Protandim that the ABC investigative report aired. And that Protandim is a Nrf2 activator in our body. And I'm going to let probably Arthur, he may talk a little bit more about the science behind Nrf2. But what I want everybody to understand is last year, Washington State University published a study stating that by raising the Nrf2 protein in our body, this may become the most extraordinary and most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. So when we see people that have suffered, a traumatic brain injury or a stroke or a brain injury from cancer, I will tell you guys, their lives are destroyed. The family, the patient, from a health perspective, and honestly, from a financial perspective. And we see some patients and we do our best, but there are some people that literally have no money. And with raising 4 children ourselves, having aging parents, I'm like, I never want to end up with a health situation that I'm ever a burden, that we need to take care of ourselves. And now we know about what is out there in Nrf2 technology and prevention. But at the same time, it's like, wow, so many of these patients also from a financial standpoint today can't afford so many things. And what many of us are discovering is we all financially truly need to dig this well, right? Have a well on the side before any of us have a tragedy in our lives. So it's been amazing. So the technology today, you can do research, and let me tell you, it's not the company, and the company says we don't treat, cure, prevent, or mitigate anything. This Nrf2 protein activation that's happening in our bodies, that's where science is finding, whether it's, issues with osteoarthritis, which articles just came out, whether it's Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, research has just come out. I mean, I could go on and on. I would encourage each and every one of you listening to this to do your own research with certain diagnoses. But if you want to add an umbrella to your healthcare plan, I would say 100% know about these products. You need to be on these products for yourself and for your family. And it's not just for the sick person. That's ultimately what I love right here. The 4 of us as young, healthy athletes and in the midst of our lives is literally us and all 4 of our children aging from 12 to 18 are using these products because in their life, if they can have their bodies keep things moving, they may not even see some of the diseases that we all are seeing and exposing today. That's a super crazy thought. So,
well, this is exciting. And I know we're going to go deeper into a little bit more about the science. And then also you hit a very high note there, just talking about Protandim and the cost of that and its efficacy. versus a lot of drugs. And now I want to preface too that we can't say we cure, prevent, or treat or mitigate any disease because we are all natural. So anything we say on this webinar, obviously that we're going to talk about the patents and the science, but we're not here to say we cure, prevent, treat, or mitigate any disease. And that's just, distributors who can say that. But let's jump into a couple of slides before I kick it over to you, Arthur. And Kelly, incredible. I'm excited just for those individuals, stroke and traumatic brain injury, TBI is on the rise. We see it with the NFL players. We're just watching the game yesterday and the concussions that happen with these players, not only in football, but in a multitude of other sports. So, knowing what we know and being able to not only reduce oxidative stress, inflammation by 40% in 30 days. And Dr. Lepsha, you can expand on the studies a little bit and I'll share the screen. But what I'm so excited about is for anybody who, right, Jill, breathes oxygen needs to hear about this. And knowing that we're all athletes, if you have a body, you are an athlete. So treat it as such, right? You have one body to live in. So if you don't treat it right, what are you going to do? So let's dive into these slides. And then Arthur, I want to kick it over to you and dive a little bit deeper into the research, into the science, and share with us your background, this kicking and screaming story that your wife was telling us about. But right here, activated by science, inspired by life. And so this is the crew, the PT panel. I'm so stoked we had a chance to connect with you guys the other night. This is your beautiful family. Talk to us about your background, Doc, and why we're here tonight.
Oh gosh, thank you, Jessica. Thank you so much for putting this together. And Jill, Kelly, I'm really honored just to be here with all three of you ladies, because wow, I couldn't ask for better company here tonight on this webinar. So my background, so ordinary. Every, kid grew up just like me, born in Connecticut, lived in Nigeria, grew up in England, came back to the US after high school because I couldn't make it into college there, up and down the California coast, getting first a bachelor's in human physiology, then master's and doctorate degrees in physical therapy. I've always said that, athletics and sports have always been important to me. I've always said that I'm a jock of all sports, master of none. I guess that's not completely fair to say. I guess I do hold a first degree black belt in kosher shorty kempo and a third degree in American freestyle karate. But I always look at martial arts as more of my lifestyle than a sport. But I play tennis competitively. I love golf. I attempt to do triathlons and keep up with her when possible.
We're all going to have to pick a race and compete now that we've been on this product for a couple of years, eh? What do you think, Kelly?
Well, interestingly enough, some of the anecdotes, and it's just anecdotes, but I've had some pretty incredible things happen personally with taking this product. But even before I got around to taking the product, I have to admit I was probably a network marketer's worst nightmare, because my only exposure to this business model was incredibly negative. I wanted nothing to do with it. And I didn't believe in supplementation because I've never seen products that had the evidence to prove that they were effective. And my only evidence with even a multivitamin was that, I take it at night, and in the morning when I go to the bathroom, my pee is fluorescent yellow. And I know I'm just excreting it. So what is it doing for me? If I'm eating well.
Such a waste. I'm sure so many people feel like that too, eh?
So that was completely my opinion. And Kelly didn't know this, but I'd actually said no to our friend Michael for over 2 years, that I wanted nothing to do with this. And then, one day when Kelly walks up to me and says, I want to know what Michael's doing, I'm like, are you kidding me? You want to know what? But when she explained the story about our friend who is currently ranked #1 in the world at full distance Ironman triathlons in her age group, and in particular, it was the fact that when she stopped taking the product, her hypertension came back. She started taking the product again, her hypertension went away. That's not placebo. You don't placebo hypertension like that. I said, okay, there's got to be something here that I have to at least look at. So that's when we sat down and we really started delving into what this is, what was the research behind it, and it's really blown me away. I've never seen a product that has a scientific validation, the research behind it, that Protandim does. And what's really wild is that none of it was done by this company. It was all done by external sources, universities across the country, around the world. It's truly incredible. And
So can we dive into that? Can we jump forward into a couple of these slides? Let's do this. Well, let's real quick, what we're going to do tonight, guys, is give you the quick overview. And fortunately, for those of you tuning in, you have 3 experts, I would call, in the field. And I'm honored to be in your presence, honestly. Like, your backgrounds exceed anything I've ever done. You're amazing. So what we're going to do today is really just understand the business model of network marketing and why this company and this product is in direct sales, and how it allows you not only to leverage your time, but really what the product is going to do to leverage your life and your lifestyle. Understanding the science behind it, and then a little bit about the business and how to get started. So we're going to keep it pretty brief tonight, but there is quite an extensive history, and it requires a story to share. And, as network marketers, as distributors with LifeVantage, it's exciting because we get to be storytellers. And so the company is LifeVantage, and the ABC Primetime here on the right is what Kelly was referring to, abcliveit.com. For those of you who haven't seen this video, make sure you get over there and check out that Primetime. And Doc, you can expand on what they're going to see in that a little bit. But that aired in 2005, and then in May of 2009, they took it off the shelves and put it into direct sales. So now we get to share something that we care about. So we're going to dive a little bit more into the science and the business, but the company is incredible. We're not going to talk too much about the company tonight. We want to give you the nit and gritty on the product, and then you get back to the person that shared this webinar with you and make sure that they go over the opportunity side, because it's so exciting. So let's dive into some of the science, because we truly do. We make the world better, and in doing so, we make the world a better place. I love that quote. So we are in 10 countries, so no matter where you are or who you are, you can take part in this. If you breathe oxygen, this is for you. So you come to the right place. So timing is key. We'll get into that later. But let's jump into some of the science. This is what we're talking about. So Doc, as you chat, I can move through the slides, but LifeVantage, we are activated by science, just like you said, the studies, 22 peer-reviewed studies, and inspired by life. So you can see the products down here at the bottom, and maybe you want to jump into some of the science and how each of the products relate.
Yeah, and if we can just jump ahead a few more slides here for a moment, we'll get to one that actually breaks down the ingredients in Protandim, and I think that's kind of a good place to start here. So I think it's one more. There we go. So what is Protandim? The amazing thing is Dr. Joe McCord, as you'll see when you watch the ABC Primetime Special Report, was just a graduate student himself in 1969 at Duke University when he discovered the enzyme in our bodies, superoxide dismutase. And he realized that this enzyme had the strange function of scavenging free radicals. Well, free radicals are the waste products of our cells living. Mm-hmm. I mean, just all the processes our cells go through every day. And so if those waste products are building up in our system, that can create what we call oxidative stress. And we know oxidative stress is directly linked to over 200 diseases. So that's what I knew right away, and I got this. What's so cool is that when Dr. McCord realized what he had in his hands with SOD, superoxide dismutase, he was looking for a way to get the body to increase SOD within our cells. And he tried looking at synthetic agents and pharmaceutical agents, but he didn't like the side effects. So then he started looking at botanicals. And there are so many things that are out there that help increase SOD. But what he didn't quite realize that early on was what he was really doing was turning back on the Nrf2 protein. The Nrf2 protein is a protein we all have in our bodies. When we're young kids and into early adulthood, this protein is working full time, but somewhere in your mid-20s, it gets bound down to another protein called the KEAP1 pathway. What Dr. McCord discovered when he put the botanicals together in the right combination here of milk thistle, turmeric, green tea, bacopa, and ashwagandha is that in just the right combination, it increases Nrf2 activation 1,800% more than any one of these ingredients on their own. And in fact, if you mess with the proportion, which the company has actually done to see what happens, it can knock the effectiveness off actually down to 0, which is crazy. So these 5 things in the right proportion increase this Nrf2 activation, which in turn turns on the production of amazing enzymes in our bodies and allows our bodies to start eradicating free radicals at over 1 million free radicals per second every second, which is so much more effective than what most people think of in getting rid of oxidative stress, which is you taking your traditional antioxidants, which only eliminate free radicals at the rate of 1 molecule free radical is eliminated by 1 molecule of your antioxidant. So this works so much more effectively, it's so much more powerful, and makes such a bigger difference in your body. I like to use the analogy sometimes that, you know, there are other foods that we can take and eat on a daily basis that can help increase Nrf2 activation. Broccoli, for instance. But you could take 1 protanum a day, or you could eat 8 pounds of broccoli a day. Now, I like broccoli. I mean, little butter.
Not 8 pounds of it, though.
Little cheese, yeah, but not 8 pounds. In fact, if I was eating 8 pounds of broccoli a day, I'm not sure that this woman would sleep in the same room with me at night.
But even, you know, what did Montel say? You know, you have to eat 365 oranges to get the effect of 1 protandem.
Yeah, or I don't know about any of you out there that enjoy a little of the red vino, right?
There you go.
Activates the Nrf2 protein. You could take 1 protanum a day, or you could drink 88 glasses of red wine a day. You know, so at 4 glasses per bottle, that's about 22 bottles a day.
You'd be a mess.
Yeah, it's going to be a pricey habit, not to mention you're going to be a mess. I mean, I know we say, you know, we need to preserve wildlife. You should pickle a squirrel. You know, it's going to be pretty pickled. We're going to have a lot of pickled people going around. So I really believe, you know, all joking aside, that there is nothing that's out there that's as effective as protandim, nor anything that has the research to support how effective protandim is.
So let's look at that research, babe.
Yeah, let's fast forward. Let's see what we got on the next slide here. Okay, so, bingo, here we go. So right here, I just pulled up for us to look at. This is PubMed.gov. PubMed is the National Institute of Health's repository for all scientific peer-reviewed published studies. Anyone can go right up here just looking up www.pubmed.gov, and they can type in protandim, and they will see that we have 22 peer-reviewed published studies right there just on protandim. And honestly, guys, just look through it. You know, a lot of this science is going to be way over even my head because it's not what I deal with on a regular basis. But you don't have to get very far into this to realize how amazing this is. If we go to the next slide, I pulled up what is oxidative stress and the research that's going on with oxidative stress. And I took this screenshot now almost a month ago. And a month ago, we had 167,089 studies that link oxidative stress to over 200 different diseases. And if we just look at the dates on these 3 studies here, all 3 of these studies were published January 4th, 2017.
Wow.
And research is coming out fast and furious. And then on the next slide, I pulled up Nrf2. And again, the Nrf2 protein was only discovered in 1992. Prior to that, Dr. Joe McCord was working on just increasing SOD. He didn't realize that he was actually developing something that would reactivate this Nrf2 protein because he didn't even know what the Nrf2 protein was when he was working on this initially. But again, we now have, since 1992, almost 7,600 studies on Nrf2 and what it does in the body. And again, these 3 that you can just see right here, January 4th, 2017, January 3rd, 2017, December 30th, 2016, the research is coming fast and furious, and we're just going to see, you know, it accelerating from here. If we can jump forward one more slide for a second. This graph is just, I think, so powerful. And if we look on the right side for a moment where it says oxidative stress, your Nrf2 protein helps decrease oxidative stress. And free radicals and oxidative stress affect every organ system in the body. That's why you see them all listed there. And you can see around the outside every single disease process associated with when things start going bad in those organ systems. If we think about free radicals, our bodies produce over 1.3 sextillion free radicals every day. Now, I will admit I had no idea what a sextillion was. A sextillion is to the power of 21. So you're talking 1.3 followed by 21 zeros behind it. And that's how many free radicals our bodies produce every single day. So when you're trying to eliminate that at the ratio of 1 molecule of antioxidant to 1 molecule free radical, you're never going to get ahead.
Right? Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. But when you can start getting rid of them at 1 million free radicals per second every second or more, now you have a chance. Just a chance. And the graph on the left is referring to our newest product that was just released in June of last year, Protandim Nrf2 activator. Nrf2 is another protein in our body whose job is to restore dysfunctional mitochondria and build bigger and stronger mitochondria. And Jill and Kelly and Jessica, I know you had an extensive biological background as well. But guys, when I was thinking back to high school bio and undergraduate and even grad school, every time I drew a cell, I drew my membrane and my nucleus, and I drew some organelles in there, and I would put 1 or 2 mitochondria in every cell. I had no idea that, and if you go back for 1 second, Jessica, to the previous screen, I had no idea that every cell in our bodies has thousands, if not tens of thousands of mitochondria. So the Nrf2 protein helps restore those mitochondria and build bigger and stronger mitochondria. So fast forward to take a look at what happens in our bodies when this mitochondria start going wrong. It's a big, big problem. Dr. David Perlmutter, who's a neurologist and he wrote the book Brain Maker, says that if you were to extract all the mitochondria from your body and place them on a scale, it would constitute 10% of your body weight. So when those mitochondria start going wrong, this is a huge problem. So on the next screen over, we can see mitochondrial dysfunction. You can see all of the disease processes that are associated with mitochondrial dysfunction. And I say all. Actually, this is just a sampling of them. Again, we do not claim to treat, cure, prevent, or mitigate. But when you can turn the Nrf2 protein back on, when you can get your mitochondria working better, you have a much better chance of alleviating some of these issues or preventing them. I mean, Jessica, you can tell me which one of these you want. Parkinson's, autism, muscular dystrophy, Lou Gehrig's disease, chronic fatigue, Huntington's chorea, Alzheimer's. You know, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, you make a good point there. You know, too many people wait until they get a disease or an illness or until they get injured before they fix it. And we live in such a treatment society that's why we're all on this webinar. We're prevention activists. Like, let's prevent it before we get it. And I know for me, heart disease and cancer run in my family, and I don't want to wait until I could possibly get that if I can start preventing it now. So super exciting. Great point on that end. I know we're going to kick it over to Jill in a minute. Are there any more of the science slides on here that you wanted to go through?
You know, there's some amazing, amazing research, and we can just click back through a few of them very, very quickly. And we don't need to go into detail. If we click back, I think, oh boy, Jessica, I'm not sure if they're here. I can, you know, I would just.
Well, maybe I would like you and Kelly real quick just to talk about our product line and what you and your family use. You have quite a range of children in your household as well. And most people get on the Protandim as adults, but we were just at a LifeVantage Academy this weekend and hearing a lot of the research of, you know, how all of the products can benefit a multitude of individuals. And mind you, you have to really just figure out who you are and what's going on in your life and your kids and your family. And it's your body, so you decide how and when you want to take it. But Kelly, do you want to expand a little bit, you and Arthur, on what you guys use for your family?
I will. And wow, you know, I think so much of the time, like you said, Jessica, we're treating the illness once we get there. So let me tell you about this product line and why, you know, we have so much of our family on it. So Arthur gave you guys extensive about Protandim, and there's Protandim Nrf2 and there's Protandim Nrf1. So we have 4 kids aging from 12 to 18 with a variety of physical attributes that they all are working on. And they are all having some also health things, right? Today, so many kids have asthma, allergies, more susceptibility to even things like ADHD, autism. Our youngest has suffered from chronic migraines and she's ended up hospitalized twice. So they are all taking the Nrf2 activator, and some of them are also taking our Nrf1 as well. And because I know, like Arthur just told you guys what's happening, what they may be going through. Arthur and I are taking those. My mother and her boyfriend, because my father, unfortunately, just like Jessica, he's, I don't know if Jessica's are, but my father suffered from cancer and is deceased 8 years ago. I only like kills me, like if he could have been taking these products, we'll never know. But I do know that the rest of my family, I don't want to wait to find out. So everyone, as far as Nrf1 and Nrf2, let me talk about this Axio. And this is what Jessica was even talking about, that we learned so much about kids, is Axio is a smart energy drink, smart, clean energy drink. However, if you look at all the ingredients, and actually, if you go on the PubMed and look up,
drinking it right now, brain food.
One of these ingredients, every single ingredient is healthy for the brain and our entire system, but it crosses the blood-brain barrier and allows the brain to focus at the highest level possible. So being able to have longer attention, clearer, focused, more concentration, more stamina. So they're finding kids in school, in their performance, even for all of us, we all sometimes get the fogginess, right? That we're all reach for whatever our drink of choice is, meaning it could be a cup of coffee, a Coke, a tea, a Rockstar, Monster, I don't know, Red Bull, right? There's so many, but you have to understand this is not an energy drink like that. This is truly allowing the brain to function at a higher level. So we really call it an executive functioning drink. The ingredients are second to none. Arthur has it here. We may even pass it over to Jessica just to pull up for you guys, or if anybody's watching this webinar, if you go to the LifeVantage website and pull up products, you can pull up the ingredients in it, search all of those ingredients. It is shocking, literally shocking to see the health benefit of every single ingredient in there. So that's a drink we all use. You'll come to our house, you won't find juice or Gatorade or anything else. It's water and Axio. It's keep ourselves healthy. So it's awesome. You know, the next, as far as the product line, I'm going to jump into the skincare line briefly. But the skincare line was launched because LSU did a study, 2 studies actually, on Protandim. But what they found in Protandim is that it actually broke the link to skin cancer. So they came back to the company and said, look at what we found. This is amazing. If you could take this Nrf2 activation and actually put it in a topical formula that could protect the largest organ of the body, imagine what we could do in the prevention of skin cancer. You can YouTube it and see so many people's changes in their skin. It is crazy, but not only are Arthur and I using it to protect ourselves, however, all of our children have seen changes in their skin integrity, have seen changes actually with their acne. And
Our
so
middle daughter has some eczema. It's had great results. I mean, literally, she'll have a little flare up and 2 days of getting true science on it. And it makes a tremendous difference.
Our youngest, the daughter of one of her best friends, I mean, the mom of one of her best friends called me and said, okay, Kelly, Sarah's telling me she has to have whatever Claire's using at your house. Because every time she goes to your house and uses it, her face is better and her acne is better. It's very, very cute. So the skincare line is second to none and everyone's using it. You know, we also have our weight management line. I'm not going to go into full detail right now. Here we are in January and New Year's, one of everybody's goal, right? Not only to get in better health, shape, lose weight, feel fit. The big thing I will tell you about the weight management line is it is truly designed for health. And that as the health of our system, if we have extra weight sitting around our organs, that's what leads to health concerns and health issues. It truly targets that while keeping lean muscle mass for all of us, which is so important, especially as we're aging, but reduces that fat around those internal organs so that our organs can really work to their optimum health.
You know what, just if I can jump in real quick, you know, question for you guys, and I hear this a lot, like I love all of our products. I take all of them except for the canine health, and I know you're going to get to that in a minute. But with physique, Some people are like, oh, I'm just going to get physique, not pro tandem. What do you tell people about, starting out with a product or incorporating a regimen, whether it's the true science, pro tandem, Nrf1, Nrf2, as well as physique? What is your recommendation for folks that are on this webinar that are, wanting to learn more about our complete product line and how to utilize it most effectively?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Arthur will concur, and I'll really tail this to Arthur, but I will tell you, if you want your body to work at the most optimum for those products, it kind of goes hand in hand of Protandim Nrf2 is a 100% absolute given with every single human, period.
Absolutely.
And if you look amongst the physique line, it's not for somebody that's just looking to lose weight per se. And I'm just going to pick out one of the 4 products that line has, and it's the probiotic. And I think most people today hear their doctor, their friends, somebody talk about probiotics, and they're learning we should all be on it. Again, however you got to this webinar, please talk more in depth to that person, but you need to understand that what's in this probiotic has a patented coating called BioTrack, and that allows it to actually pass through the acid in your stomach, where the majority of all probiotics are completely destroyed.
96% of them.
Your colon, your small and large intestines are not getting all of that nutrients to truly clean up the system. And if you have a healthy gut, it's going to lead to a healthy immune system and healthy brain function. So absolutely, that probiotic is a definite must. And the extra bonus, it's like the icing on the cake that's in that probiotic, is the Wellmune. And the Wellmune is not unique to LifeVantage. Wellmune is something that doctors actually prescribe to people for exactly what it says, Wellmune, boosting your immune system. Being that is in the product itself, you don't have to take it separately. Arthur and I were just talking about it this winter of how healthy we have been, and we truly think that being on the probiotic with the Wellmune is probably the number 1 factor improving our health. So definitely anybody taking that weight loss system or weight management system of the physique line should, without a doubt, hands down, also be taking at a minimum Nrf2.
Great point. And, I just highlighted this part here. We were just talking about the probiotic. Amazing point on that. And a lot of people are on a probiotic, or if they're not, you need to be on one. But what comes in this probiotic is absolutely incredible. But just to start out here, products that promote healthy living, when you go on lifevantage.com, Protandim is the start. So the start to healthy living is Nrf2, then Nrf1, the 1-2 punch, true science for the outside, the inside out approach, and then target smart weight management. We were talking about the fat burner and just totally get rid of those fat cells, and it just helps you lean up. We're going to be doing a live webinar on Wednesday with a gentleman who's literally lost over 4 inches in 21 days. So it works. Yes, you have to exercise and eat healthy, but face it, when your body's in alignment, your mind is clear, and when you're feeling good, you want to eat good, you want to exercise better, you want to treat your body better. So, Arthur, what about you? Any favorite products? And then we're going to pass over to Jill for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, I totally agree with Kelly. Absolutely, Nrf2 is where I have people really start, because you need to clean out the junk first. But we've also found that the Nrf2 is far more effective when the gut is healthy. So, a good cleanse, our 7-day cleanse, is a wonderful way to just kick things off. The probiotic can be taken simultaneously as well as the Nrf2. I absolutely love Axio. I mean, talk about mental focus, clarity. I mean, Jess, you're drinking it right now. I'm at least a 2-a-day guy.
The more I hear about how good it is, the more I want to put these products in my body all day long.
It's absolutely right, because there's a cumulative effect. Which it's like, oh my gosh, the longer you're on it, the more and more it helps your brain function. So it's like, oh, I can't miss a day.
Right. And now talk to us about, how does Axio affect your stroke and brain injury patients? I know I want Jill to expand on that too, but I'm sure you recommend that for your patients as well as their healing, recovering.
Being physical therapists, we don't prescribe anything. We so believe in these products. We educate our patients about them. We tell them the benefits and what we believe is good and bad, and we let them make their own decisions. But when we have had patients who said, yes, I want to take it, we see such an amazing clarity. Their ability to follow directions, their ability to learn is super, super enhanced when they're taking these products. And sometimes it's very subtle changes. Sometimes it is dramatic. And that's some of the individual nature that we're each different people. Our bodies respond a little differently to everything. But I just know that when the gut is healthy, when you clean up that oxidative stress, when you then provide the right food to the brain, it's amazing what the human body can do.
Absolutely.
Jessica,
Well,
before I pass it to Jill, can I just make one additional comment?
absolutely.
I was just talking to a peer of my mom's. My mom's a retired teacher, and this woman is still teaching. And a year ago, her doctor brought this to her attention. And she was gun shy about it because she couldn't buy it in the store. She needed to buy it from her doctor. So here she is a year later. My mom is now telling her about this. And so she called me tonight to talk more about it. And she did her own research. It was crazy. And she's like, I really want to start. I can't believe it. I guess I just couldn't wrap my mind around why I had to buy it from the doctor and I couldn't go to the store. And I would just want to make sure everybody understands, when you have a category creating products that people don't know what they are yet, you can't put them on the store shelves, because that's initially how our flagship products started. So I just want you guys to all know that whoever's bringing you these products, they are second to none. And we are truly in a field today of sharing, right? We're in a sharing economy. So that's why these products are really passed one-on-one through the lives we share. You're going to be hearing more and more about everything.
And what's so wild is these are category creating. I mean, we built these categories and we are first to market with them. So, when you really stop and think economically, the business opportunity behind this, it's mind-blowing, just mind-blowing.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, guys. I am so excited about these products. And yes, you're absolutely right. We do this all the time. We were talking earlier on another webinar just about the referral programs. And I am a frequent flyer, right? I have so many Delta and Southwest miles that I don't even know what to do with them. But when you refer somebody to, get a flight, or you refer a friend to a restaurant, you may get like a $25 card or $50 or $100 gift card, or even just a discount. But with this, it's like, man, we can help you get your product free. We get to share it, and we actually now get to help people earn commission, just like Kelly, you said in the beginning, people who are, either suffering from diseases or illnesses, or and the flip side, are suffering from oxidative stress in their bank accounts. We have a solution. But yeah, I'm going to pass it over to Jill here. She is my Canadian soul sister. It's been fun to work out with her this week. But she is a physical therapist for over 18 years, and she specializes in stroke patients, etc. So she's got some really exciting information on this Axio, and then some research behind it. But I wanted to pass it over to you so that you can share your story. I know it's right, yeah.
I just want to mention two things too about the fat burner, and with regard to the abdominal fat and addressing that specifically. That buildup of abdominal fat is very specifically related to heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure. So getting rid of and addressing that as part of our health regimen is very important. And the younger you start to address that, the better, because heart disease and diabetes don't just show up overnight. Those are things that develop over a long period of time. So the sooner we just start to see the effects show up in our blood work and things like that later on. But really that is happening over a long period of time. So we want to take this and use this preventatively, so that we're never getting to that point. So we're taking care of that abdominal fat. And the other thing that I've come across research-wise,
results right here.
Oh yeah, amazing. With the probiotic is they are really finding a lot of links between neurological diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. They're relating it back to gut health and good gut health. And the Western diet with a lot of sugar and refined carbohydrates is very bad for having a good gut health. So having a good probiotic is very, very important in preventing getting some of these diseases. So it's really, again, talking about prevention. And when we talk about gut health, we're not talking just about the stomach. We really are talking more about the small and large intestine, and really wanting to get the bugs the good bugs from the probiotic into our small and large intestine. So that's why it's so important to have that BioTrack technology around the probiotic that LifeVantage has. So the other thing that I was gonna touch on is the Axio and how that is so related to, we talked about focus and concentration, but just really specifically looking at some of the ingredients that are in the Axio. And it has DMAE in it, which is a very important and used for treating kids with ADHD, and very important with helping with the focus for these kids. And DMAE is actually a neurotransmitter, which is very, very important because that's a neurotransmitter is helping that signal along the nerve. And we see there are many different neurological disorders out there that there is a breakdown in that transmission of that signal along the nerve. So that DMAE is a very important ingredient in the Axio. And this is part of what one of the ingredients that really helps to build up. And so there is a cumulative effect when you're taking the Axio every day. And I just want to talk about some of the things. So I do work with stroke and Parkinson's patients, and I have had many of them actually start taking the Nrf1 and Nrf2 and also the Axio. And we saw a speaker the other day who talked about the difference that the Axio, she had a son who's on the autistic spectrum and who was taking the Nrf1 and Nrf2, and the difference that the Axio made in his focus and his ability to kind of unlock his speech abilities.
Can you guys see this screen, the WebMD?
No, we have your email screen up right now.
And I have actually seen that a similar phenomenon in one of my patients who was taking only the Nrf2, but she started on the Axio, and she had been taking the Nrf2 for probably about 3 or 4 months, and we had seen some improvements. She was having a lot of difficulty with short-term memory. Her long-term memory was quite good, but her short-term memory was terrible. And she was also having some speech issues. Now, the Protandim Nrf2 we had started to see some improvements with the short-term memory and a little bit with the speech. But when she started on the Axio, now, we didn't really notice a difference probably till close to 3 weeks of her taking just one Axio a day, but we really then started to notice a big difference in her her short-term memory. Now, like a significant difference in her short-term memory, which really said a lot to me about the effects of the DMAE. Particularly, there are some other great ingredients in there, quercetin and L-theanine and there's some of the other, the New Zealand pine bark and green tea also in the Axio. But I really feel that the DMAE had a lot to do with it. And she has several nurses and friends that are coming and going, and everybody noticed a significant difference, more so after the Axio than even the Nrf2, which was pretty incredible to me. And what else were we going to talk about?
Quercetin.
The quercetin. Okay. I was just going to go through some of the different ingredients. So we talked about the DMAE, but the quercetin has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties to it, and is used on its own for treating inflammatory conditions in the heart and blood vessels. And so they use that for heart disease and hopefully keeping our vessels healthy with heart disease and not getting hardening of the arteries as quickly or at all.
I'm going to flip onto this screen right here so you guys can kind of see from WebMD some of these things that she's talking about. So
And the other thing,
Let's
Joe,
do
that I
this.
love about
Play
quercetin
current
is the
slides. You can see here.
anti-atherosclerotic properties.
You guys see on the screen?
Excellent. Yes.
So that's kind of what you talked about with DMAE, who it's utilized for, and then quercetin.
So one of the other patients that I wanted to talk about was a patient that I have, again, with a degenerative disease. This wasn't a stroke or brain injury, but it's a degenerative neurological disease. And he has been taking the Nrf2. He was progressively getting worse for probably the past 10 years. And to the point where he was almost ending up in a wheelchair. And he's been taking the Nrf2 for about 8 months now. And we have really noticed that he is stabilized and hasn't had any progression in his symptoms. He's really plateaued. And he really feels that it's due to the Protandim Nrf2. Now, I know we can't say we prevent any diseases or mitigate any diseases, but these are just some examples in my patient population that we've seen.
Awesome.
So great.
And then also with the Axio, I just want to address, so I've been talking a lot about the patients that I see, but also as far as working out and the differences that the Axio can make in, Jessica, Arthur, Kelly, and I with our workouts. So I've started taking it, absolutely taking it in the mornings before I go for a run or before I go to the gym and work out. And I am not a morning person. I get up early in the morning, like 5:30. But as my husband can attest to, I usually walk around uttering one-word answers and looking completely stunned. And now using the Axio in the morning, I feel that I am able to get out the door and get moving much quicker. And I really feel a difference in my early morning runs as far as my energy level, whereas it usually took me a lot longer to get into my kind of groove and feel the benefits of my run and that kind of runner's high. But now I feel like as soon as I hit the pavement, I am much more energized. So I think that it's good for anybody, basically, is what I'm saying. Is I think it's good for athletes or people that work out, but I also think it's extremely helpful for people with disorders and dysfunctions along the neurological vein where they have trouble with their short-term memory or concentration.
Awesome. So she is a morning person. She's up at like 6 doing box jumps and, sweating down in the living room. But this is exciting, guys. Thanks so much for being on tonight and sharing your time. I know time is so valuable. So I do want to keep it brief. And I'll just close with a couple of these slides that we've got on here. And thanks so much, Arthur and Kelly, for being on and sharing your wisdom and expertise. Looks like I need another Axio. No, but yeah, we're excited about these products and really what they can do for you. The L-theanine is another one of the ingredients that's so important for your health. And, there are some different ways to get involved. And when you're looking at the products, get back with the person that shared this with you. All of our products, the ingredient lists are on lifevantage.com. The person who shared this with you has their own private website that they can send to you to navigate. And then here are some of the products that you can choose from when you're looking to get involved. So let's flip over to these slides here. I'm just going to show you guys what comes in each of them. And for me, being a triathlete and a marathon runner, I will never stop taking these products. Protandim is incredible. Whenever I travel a lot or get jet lag, I take one in the morning and one at night. I've actually heard people who feel like they're getting sick take 4 at a time and just knock it out. And then the Axio, mental function brain food, absolutely incredible. So let's jump over and just show you guys, those are the ingredients, and we'd be happy to give you guys any of these slides. But there are 3 different ways to get involved. There are several different pack options. Let me move this so you guys can see that. here are the pack options to get started. You know, obviously there's a silver, gold, and a platinum, good, better, best. I got enrolled on a platinum pack, and you get all the tools that you need for you, your family, individuals that you want to share this with. So that's a great option as well. And then you get to leverage your time. You know, depending on what products you want, you can always buy our products at the wholesale price as a preferred customer, or you can purchase them retail, just one off. But you can, our products are affordable and they're consumable. So depending on how you want to get involved, again, get back with the person that shared this with you. We just wanted to go into the science for each and every one of you and give you a little bit more insight into what we have our hands on. So guys, you know, the last question, and I love this, Arthur, you know, if you save in the next 5 years as much as you have saved in the last 5 years, will you be excited or will you be worried? And you can relate this right back to your health too. Are you healthier or as healthy as you want to be now, 5 years later, as you were 5 years ago, or has your health declined? You know, too many people spend the majority of their life building up wealth, only to spend the last years of their life trying to get back their health. So here we are trying to bridge the gap and to help you really just optimize your life from the inside out. So thank you guys for your time. Thank you for your energy. All of those of you listening to this webinar, share this with your friends, get the information, make sure that you fully understand and are educated on each of the products, you know, the science, the opportunity, and on the best ways to get involved. So any last words, guys?
Thank you, Jessica. So appreciate you.
Yeah,
Jill, awesome to see you guys.
Thank you.
Great to see you guys too.
Thank you guys.
Awesome.
Have a wonderful evening.